We start with the same production block and same production head that those guys run, and then we modify it. Well, thanks to the folks at GM, this engine that was originally designed and in production makes 220 horsepower, we made 1,540. It's 135 cubic inches. Next to the nitro cars you'll see over there, this engine is the most powerful engine per cubic inch than anything you'll see on the property. And it's the smallest engine you'll see out here today. We just had our last session of qualifying. Going into that last session, we were qualified number 2 in a 64 car field. We've got 95 cars trying to qualify for 64 spots. So it's a pretty cutthroat event for us. And this little baby's really humming. What makes all the power on this thing is the turbocharger. And what's cool about it, it's turbocharged, it's fuel injected stuff you'll see out there on the streets. And for me, I used to host the NH Race Sport Compact Racing Series on ESPN2 for a few years. And I saw these guys with 4 cylinders making 1,500 horsepower and front-wheel drive cars going 214 miles an hour. It just blew me away, so I got involved with it. And it's technology that is really cutting edge. It's the latest, greatest stuff because it's what you're running in a street car. And actually, GM's got what they call the build book, where you can actually go ahead and it tells you part numbers, specs, torque specs, everything you can do to take your Cobalt Street engine or your Solstice Street engine and make it 1,500 horsepower. It'll take you levels from 200 to 400, 400 to 600, all the way on up. And I've got some copies of those books on the backs of the trailer here. You can take them, and then more information you can go on the website, GM Tuner Source. But it's a really nice reference. It's not just if you want to have a turbocharged 4-cylinder like this. It's a good guide in terms of if you want to play with your engine on the street, whether it's a Honda or a Mitsubishi or a Ford. You know, at this horsepower level, these guys are stepping up the bottom end, or these guys are putting a chip in and they're able to get 50 horsepower. And it's real numbers, real stuff you can use as a baseline for your operation. So that's what makes it neat and makes it fun to come out here and race something that you've got on the street. Actually, the same cylinder head that's on my race car right now, I've got a little Saab street car over there we haul in the trailer and go around the races. The exact same cylinder head. We actually broke one of the intake components, a rocker, at a race in the semifinals. And I thought we were done because I didn't have any spares yet. We were just getting up and running with this program. And I called one of the guys at GM and I said, man, I know you're about 4 hours away. Anyway, you're in the vicinity here, you give me a part. He goes, no, but if you got anybody who's got a rental car or a Cobalt, go pop one of those rockers off and stick it in. We did just that off the rental car, stole it, and we won the race. So that's now the rental car ran a little rough back to the dealership, the Hertz rental place, but we won, so that's all that really mattered. We worry about that a little bit later. So that's kind of cool stuff we're dealing with today. And the way a turbocharger works, I don't know, I'll give you a quick 10-cent tour. The whole idea behind it is why it's able to make so much power, and it is the #1 power adder. It makes more power per cubic inch than a supercharger or nitrous, and the reason why is because we take exhaust gas instead of just having it come out the back of the car. We utilize that, spin it up, and push it into the motor. The more air you're able to push into the motor, the more power fuel you can burn, the more power you can make. And with this turbocharger on, it's a 76 millimeter in size. We've gone with this car in this configuration as fast as 696 at 200 miles an hour. With the bigger turbo on it, which is outlawed here, but we run in some of the imports and the outlaw stuff, we've gone 670s at 206 miles an hour. So it's not too bad for 135 inches. It's pretty neat stuff. We outran early this morning qualifying a legal pro stock motor, a Hemi pro stock motor, 500 inches going down the racetrack with 135. So that's kind of neat. You know what I mean? It's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog, and I'm a true believer in that after this engine program.